you check them out the water here, is it?
Yeah, I mean I can stand anywhere. Just
Okay, then I'll use this for out the water. And then can I go that side as well?
yeah.
How do I click?
So they are fed predominantly fish and prawns because they are carnivorous by nature. They are one of the largest freshwater turtles in the world. So they get up to 50 kilos easily or more. They are found in the US, so some rivers in the US, like the Mississippi, for example. I mean, firstly, they're huge. Secondly, they are structured, or rather, they don't look like any turtle you know, because of the shell formation and the beak. So I mean, the most distinct thing is the way they hunt and how they use their worm-like tongue to attract fish nearer before they snap. And
Are they aggressive?
they're not aggressive. They won't hurt a human being, for example, on purpose. Usually, people disturb them and then they bite, but they're not particularly aggressive. Okay, we make sure the exhibit is presentable. We clean the acrylic, we vacuum the exhibit, we remove any unwanted debris in the water. But on top of that, we feed the animals and we check them regularly to make sure there are no wounds, there's no abrasion on the skin, on the shells.
And what's the hardest part about looking after them? If there is any.
Okay, yeah, these turtles, or most turtles, they don't show signs and symptoms when they're sick. Maybe they stop eating for a while, but the average pet owner wouldn't really be alarmed at that. So because of how reptiles are, they don't show when they're sick, so you would miss all the signs and symptoms if you're not really experienced.
Hi, I'm Ashley, the sgbearded aquarist, and I love turtles. In fact, it's the alligator snapping turtle that got me fascinated with these reptiles. Unfortunately, or fortunately, they're not allowed to be kept as pets here in Singapore. There are 2 species we can keep, and one of them is taking over the world. Meet Tom. Yeah, let's try to be serious here, Tom. Tom is my pet turtle. He's a red-eared slider, or scientifically known as Trichomus scripta elegans. I hope I pronounced that right. Red-eared sliders are native to the Mississippi River in North America, where they live alongside monster fish such as the alligator gar. Alright buddy, it's time to go outdoors. Let's get you out. Oh, look at how big you've become. It's almost the size of my hand. And a little pet for you, Thanos. Alright, time to go. Red-eared sliders are one of the most robust freshwater turtle species capable of adapting to different climates and conditions. Today they are found in every continent around the world except the Antarctic, where it is simply too cold for them. Red-eared sliders are probably the most common species of turtles kept as pets around the world. However, they are also causing problems everywhere. How many red-eared sliders do you have?
I have 400 plus red-eared sliders. I think close to 500.
Right, and why do you have so many red-eared sliders?
When I started this museum, it's probably less than 100. Then more people brought it to me, actually, to ask me to help them to take care. So that's how I amassed to nearly 100 red-eared sliders.
Right. So why did these people bring their red-eared sliders to ask you to take care of it?
There are many people who are responsible. I'm a responsible pet owner. There are many people who are not. Maybe they are not totally not irresponsible because they don't know what happens when the tortoises actually grows very big, and they don't expect to be managing this kind of waste every single day. So they don't know, they can't tell, they didn't expect it, and when the kids just, when your kid just comes to you and says, please, can I have a tortoise? Can you please buy me a pet? The easiest way to actually suffice that requirement of having pets for the kids, you may think is actually a tiny weeny little turtle. But actually it's not true, because when you actually have a tortoise, you need to take care of them in many different ways.
What's that you're feeding them?
Long beans. diet is actually the main diet is actually pellets. That's actually very good because it contains a lot of whatever they need in there, and it's also easier to feed. Splash water at me. Splash water at me. Come, climb up. Ayo. Ah, good. Come and bite my hand. They love to be scratched at the legs. The turtles are just as important as a life, and then just a pet that is, you take it, you learn how to care for a pet, and then you just throw it away whenever you don't want it. That is the part which I feel that turtles are not having the level of being able to live their life as what they should be. So I'm not happy with many people who comes to me. We get a lot of remarks like, I have 3 red ear sliders, can I donate them to you? What? Donate and I still have to pay? What I did was, I have a program where previously in Chinese Garden I wasn't so much into it because I just thought that I just help the people who doesn't. But I realized that they don't need help, they need a lesson. I feel like smacking them whenever they come to me and says, I don't want my turtles anymore, can you please take over? Or can I donate them to you? When I donate them to you, why don't you let me in for free? Because I donate turtles to you. These are quite these are quite the exasperations that myself and my son face almost every day.
Red ear sliders. They just throw them in. Adult ones. There was once we were walking past the exhibit, they were like, that one looks new. We walked past, then there was another one, we took it out because all our turtles have microchips, right? We scan it, no microchip. So someone bought a ticket to come in to throw it in.
To better understand the impact of their release in the wild here in Singapore, I spoke with Yet Sin, Deputy Director of Conservation at NParks.
Why are the red ear sliders such an invasive species?
Red ear sliders, they are actually native to North America, and they are commonly sold as in the pet trade. They can quickly establish population locally if released into the wild, and they will also affect our local native species like the Malayan box terrapin as well as the spiny terrapin by competing with them for resources like food and habitats. Releasing animals that have been bred and kept in captivity is not only potentially harmful to the animals but also to the ecosystem that they are released in. Most of these released animals, they will not be able to fend for themselves and will die soon due to starvation, disease, or even falling prey to animals. Those which survive will be potentially harmful to the ecosystem by competing with the native species for resources.
Right now, what I found out is that one of the aquariums that I always go to, PetMart at Serangoon North, they actually brought in the Malayan box turtle. Now, these turtles are like super rare in the hobby. You really don't see them in aquariums, I would say, almost ever. And so the fact that they brought them in, this is a super rare opportunity for us to go take a look. It's now about 10 a.m. and they open at 11, so I will be heading down and then we can go and take a close look at these turtles. So these guys right here, they are native to Singapore and to our neighboring countries as well, Malaysia, Indonesia, and they are actually a vulnerable species. So what that means is that they are not yet endangered, but if their circumstances in the wild doesn't improve, they are likely to become endangered. If you look at the claws, you can see that in between the claws, the webbing is not very strong or not very prominent, and that is usually an indicator of how good a swimmer they are. And that's why when you look at the red ear sliders, they have really good webbing, and I would say that they're one of the best swimmers amongst the semi-aquatic freshwater turtles. And so what that actually implies is that if you release radius sliders in the wild, that's why they are so adaptive, because they can actually tolerate a lot more different conditions. They can take a lot deeper water, they can take a lot more current, and even in waters that these guys can thrive, the radius sliders will be better at hunting for food, they'll be better at escaping prey, they'll just basically outcompete these really cute creatures.
I would say quite a few $100 to $1,000+ every month. Yeah, so it's not cheap. I mean, I have so many, but it's not cheap taking care of them. And many people still come and bring it to me because they feel that oh, the environment is fantastic, the care is there. But just think back, if 1-to-1 turtle, that's actually better than me to so many hundreds. I would ask you not to bring it. Yes, you are paying me the money, but the money is actually a deterrence for you to come over. And I explain to everybody, it's not for you, it's for you to be deterred to give me your pets. I'm a responsible pet owner. Are you? That's what I would even insult them with, because I would try. Because if you have a family and you take care of 2 turtles, for example, I'm taking care of a few hundred.
So there are 2 main forms of animal release, mercy release as well as pet abandonment. Many live animals such as frogs or even insects like crickets are being used for mercy release. People release them thinking that by releasing these captive animals, they are actually doing them a good deed. There are also pet owners who choose to abandon their pet.
Are you aware of any of these reasons that people have for releasing their pets?
All the reasons are simply because they are unable to care for the pets anymore. They may not know that the lifespan of the pet is actually longer than they had anticipated. Yeah.
Okay, I feel that the root of the problem is people not knowing that the turtles produce a lot of waste. They need a lot of change of water. They need a lot of care. They need a lot of adventures. So if you notice that the turtle is, if you want to film that now, the turtle is they need a lot of this kind of things that they find it, you find it that is, oh my goodness, the turtle is going to get injured and all that, but actually they have a lot of fun. We held a class already with the parents in, and the parents was like, what, really, they need this? Oh, they do that? Okay, I don't think I should buy for the kids.
If let's say you really want to keep a radius slider, for example, those are sold openly on the markets. You can, it's legal, but make sure you know what goes into keeping it, because these terrapins, they do grow large, and we are already facing an issue with all the previous terrapins that have been released.
Keeping turtles can be a fun and rewarding experience. However, they come with responsibilities. Most turtles get huge and have large housing requirements. They need a place to bask and dry out completely to avoid bacterial infection. They also require UVA and UVB lights to absorb the calcium essential for the health of the shell. Turtles are messy eaters and massive waste producers, meaning frequent maintenance and water changes. So before you buy that cute little turtle, ask yourself, is this for me?